the other. Green.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and do the green.
On the outside.
And let that real one go.
We'll squeeze it.
Come on, hold my hand. Hold the camera. Hold the camera.
Put that back in the middle. Put that in the middle. And Jupiter, squeeze that second.
Which one?
Yeah, this one was not going to be right, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Outstanding. Thank you. All right, now, listen, today we are blessed with some very talented and definitely, I'm telling you, we are blessed to have this topic. But before we begin, I just want to say something real quick to the audience, okay? Little bit of history, but not that far back. If you recall, we were in Iraq, and the United States government was getting a very bad description of how the war was going in Iraq, right? And then all of a sudden, we did a surge. Remember that? And we did a surge, and oh, we were good. We defeated the bad guy. Well, let me tell you the real truth that happened. The military has a concept, and this, you're going to see why I'm going here before I pass it over to Dr. Moulton and Mr. Allen on our economic financial work group today. The military uses a concept called money as a weapon system. You got to hear it. Money as a weapon system. All right? Bottom line, what they did was they took millions and millions of dollars and they went in and they give it to the Sunnis to go kill the Shiites. All right? We did not defeat those guys because we had more battle systems on the ground, right? Now, how is this relative to us today? This is relative to us today because if you go into the poorest neighborhoods in Killeen, right, you know where they got those select marts, those little stores? Those guys are pulling in about 10 grand a day. In a community, we don't have any doctors, we don't have any lawyers, everyone is on food stamps, but they're pulling this money out of our community. We're spending $1 trillion a day. And if we don't realize that money is a weapon system, and if you are at war, we are a cultural and economic war, you don't give your enemy your weapon.
All right.
All right, so I can be long-winded, but I'm going to digress and pass it over to the doctor.
How y'all doing? All right. I passed out our bios, so we'll have to go over that the formalities, but I'm gonna give you a brief bio, like a 30-second bio. Yes. My name is James Matthew Moulton Jr. I was born in Miami, Florida. I left Miami and moved to Dallas at 12, joined the Army at 18. My first job was a cook. I didn't like cooking for the military, so I switched over to admin. I had a lieutenant come down to my shop and tell me to do something he didn't know how to do. And I said, I want to become one of him. So I did the Green and Gold program from 96 to 98. Commanded in 04 to 05 in Iraq, came back, got out, and started teaching at McLennan Community College in Waco. And I taught for Central Texas College, Texas A&M Central Texas College here, Concordia University. And now I teach for UMHB. And I started teaching finance in 08, and I got the job at A&M Central Texas. Tonight we're going to talk about financial literacy. I'm going to start off and Corey's going to end it. I'm going to talk about A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D. Analyze, budget, credit, and debt. A, B, C, and D. So I'm going to read, talk, and I got an exercise for you. That's why you have calculators and you have pencils. First, we define financial literacy since that's the topic of tonight. Consumers who understand basic financial management concepts are more likely to develop the analytical skills necessary for informed decision making than those who do not understand these concepts. Then it's according to financial literacy denotes one's understanding and knowledge of financial concepts and is crucial to effective consumer decision making. I will end the definition with saying it's crucial to effective consumer decision making. And then we'll go to this board. What I read to you was the first few lines of my dissertation. That's why I like to talk about financial literacy, because my dissertation was on financial literacy, the disparity in financial literacy according to income and ethnicity. So I had 4 groups: Black, white, Hispanic, and other. And other was those who did not identify themselves as one of these other groups. Which was Indians, like Native Americans, not, that's the kind of, not the, anyway. What we're gonna talk about is this chart. What I found in my study, I told you it was based on ethnicity and income. Most groups, other than the African American group, which is on the bottom, but let me talk about the top. And income levels of less than 20,000, that's that bar, 20,000 to 40,000, 40,000 to 80,000, and above $80,000. And this is dollars, and this is household income. And this was test scores based on their financial literacy level. There's a nationwide test that was done biannually by a Jumpstart organization. And these are the results. So if you made less than 20,000, you scored less on the exam, right? And you see you made between 20 and 40, you scored more, and then it went up the line, right? This chart represents the Hispanics, the whites, and the others. But guess what happened when it came to us? This is the reason why this study was statistically significant. It was significant based on the results because among the African American students, because this was high school students, 6,400 students were studied across America. When it came to African American students, the financial literacy was reversed. That means students who's in households less than 20,000 scored higher than students from households of more than 80,000. Let me say it again. If you made less than $20,000, which is the poverty line for a family of 4, it's like 19,000 something, but it's round up to 20. You knew more about money based on this financial literacy exam than those who came from households that made more than $80,000. Now, it makes sense. So what I did, based on obligation, I went to some conferences. Because you have to publish, you have to go to conferences. And I went to conferences in Baton Rouge, because who wouldn't want to go to a conference in Baton Rouge? But I had 3 conferences in a row, 3 years in a row, and I did it. One I did on my dissertation, I did a follow-up, I did another follow-up, I said I need to do one more follow-up, so I keep going back and talking about the same thing. I looked at it from different angles. One time I went and I did a focus group to find out why is this the case. Because I made suggestions, and we gonna do like a 1-minute focus group. Then I'm gonna pass out this scenario while you have calculators at the table. Why do you think this is the case that those that come from what's considered poverty know more about money than those who come from affluence?
Because they didn't have much money, they had to watch every penny they spent.
They had to watch every penny they spent.
Yeah.
That was what I said in this section. In chapter 5. You must have read this section. That was my theory, because they cared about money more, they had less of it. But when we get money, what do we do to our kids?
Okay.
We spoil them. Do it for them. So they don't value money as much. So it's y'all fault. It's my fault too. Because they don't value money as much, but we pinch pennies like we did when we was, because I ate syrup sandwiches. I thought it was a delicacy. Cheap pigs feet, come on. Cheese. So that was what happened in the study. So that's why this subject is near to my heart. I have a scenario. That's why you have, and each table get to work on this together. It's a family in Killeen. I had to add an 8 to Kwanzaa on here, so y'all don't get on it. All you have to do is come up with the bottom line. Come up with the bottom line. Yeah, I got a little pen here. And then we'll talk about whether this family was successful or not in their quest. I was going to read it and y'all can start doing the math. The Jones family live in Killeen, Texas. They both graduated from Texas A&M University Central Texas with a bachelor's degree in social work. Mr. Jones has decided to return to school to work on his master's degree. Mrs. Jones got a job at the Central Texas Health and Human Services making $60,000 per year. They came to you and presented their monthly bills and asked you to look over them to see if they're on track. They know that your financial house is in order because you attended the financial literacy seminar at the 2013 Kwanzaa celebration today. Mrs. Jones' monthly gross income is $5,000. That means before taxes, right? Before she takes taxes out. Her net income, take home pay, is $4,000. Her mortgage is $1,750. Utilities are $480. Cable is $250. Cell phones are $150. They both decided to purchase new cars upon graduation. Mr. Jones' Range Rover is $650. Mrs. Jones' Lexus is $520. And Mr. Jones on the payment plan, $425. They eat out, spend $300 per month, and another $280 on groceries. They also go a few times to movies a few times, or go to Redbox for a total of $95 per month. Lastly, they pay $270 per month on credit card debt. You have a calculator and some yellow paper. You have calculators on your phone, and also you have one calculator that came from Walmart to determine if they have a surplus or a deficit. And how much is it? How much is their surplus or how much is their deficit? You tell me.
I'm just saying, I can't answer me about that. It's like,
Yes, ma'am. No, it's just 150. You know, there's two phones, but it's don't call 150. Okay. Yeah, it's only 150.
If I'm reading this correctly, Mr. Jones has no
income. They living off her.
living off
he
of.
living off her.
She's probably
He's still living too.
Is he still living?
He have a job doing something.
You know she don't make that kind of money.
The sister just don't get a brother no.
Right, he's either cutting grass or painting buildings or something.
Okay, it's not affordable. It's not an affordable income.
Right, you better be doing something, hustling somewhere. He knows you were hustling. What are you doing? He's doing something. He's going to school for a time, ain't he? Better be something. He's black and he knows this is his heritage is. Now you got to bring it in. You don't need a vehicle. You don't need a Range Rover.
Oh, especially fuel being $3.15.
Let's see what